You're listening to the Traffic and Conversion Show. I'm your host, Michelle Fernandez, and today I'm sharing the top 10 digital marketing trends that you cannot ignore in 2023. So stay tuned. Welcome back to the show. I am recording this episode back in my office that I redesigned. Well, I haven't fully finished with all the decorating. I repainted, got some bookshelves and a credenza and a new chandelier. My creativity is in play with what I'm going to do with the other two walls. My goal was to have 3 different backgrounds when I'm recording content. So that is going to be fun. I've also ordered an under the desk treadmill. Do you have one of those? Which should come in next week. And all of it is aligned with my 2023 goals. It's so bright. And I love being in this space. And every morning I see the sunrise and it's beautiful. Some mornings it's pink skies, other it's oranges. It's just amazing, amazing view, amazing way to wake up every morning, right? And it's also amazing what changing your environment does for your energy, for your creativity, and your productivity. So if you've changed anything up in your environment, I'd love to see it. Take a pic and tag me, or I should say DM me on Instagram at the Michelle Fernandez. Or if you want to post it and tag me, that would be even better. So all your community can see what changing the environment does for you. And you can kind of share that love and share your experience. All right, well, today is about the top 10 digital marketing trends that you cannot afford to ignore in 2023. All right. There's a lot of stuff moving on. I did an episode last year on Web 3.0 and what does that look like? And so we're moving into that time in our business, right? In actually the environment. Okay. If you haven't heard, this whole chat AI, which we'll talk about in a second, is coming out and it's like all the rage right now. So you can see these things are really, really moving into 2023. So please, if you can, like take notes on your phone, write it down, whatever it is, and figure out if maybe one of these things at least you can apply per quarter this year. Okay. First up is personalization. Personalization is becoming increasingly important in digital marketing as consumers expect to receive customized messaging and customized offers. All right. So by using data such as, like, let's say browsing history, purchase history, businesses can create more relevant and effective marketing campaigns. Right. So we already know about that because we're talking about cookies and things like that. Well, as things go away with cookies, there's going to be certain things that you'll have to implement on your website to kind of gather that information. Make sense? Okay. So this also comes down to targeting specific audiences with tailored messaging. So if you did market research to find out what most people are struggling with or their biggest pain points are, then you create content, right? So that content is on social media, it's advertising, like paid advertising, maybe it's actually physical advertising, depending on the business you're in, and of course your email campaigns. And those will address those specific points, so specific pain points, okay? So here's an example. Let's say I'm focusing on generating sales for my membership for your traffic factory, right? On my lead magnet, I can ask a question that would be required to answer before they enter their information. So it would say, like, where are you struggling most when it comes to driving traffic to your business? Is it your messaging? Is it your metrics? Or is it your targeting, right? So those are just some examples. And then they would get email sequences that come with the lead magnet, right? And their emails would be tailored around what they said they were struggling with, their message, metrics, or targeting. Make sense? So what does that look like for your business? And remember that all roads lead back to your main offer. So just think about that for a second. It's like your main offer solves different problems, right? So if you're like, well, wait, I don't really know what I would do, just think about that. So if you're struggling with this, first, do some market research, okay? Ask questions and use their responses in your messaging. Second, Look inside your offer. What is your framework? What problem are you solving? And that should give you an idea where to start. Okay, second, influencer marketing. Influencer marketing is a powerful way to reach new audiences and promote products or services. So by partnering with social media influencers, whether they're macro or micro, who have a large following and are respected in their niche, businesses can gain credibility and increase their visibility. Now, if this one, it was on your radar, right? If you're like, oh, I've been hearing about this, right? What do I do? Well, before you start reaching out to these influencers, make sure you have a clear understanding of who you're trying to target. This will help you identify the influencers who are most likely to reach and engage with your target audience. So think about that for a second. So let's just say, I'm going to throw this out there. Let's just say you're selling pots and pans, okay? Like you have cookware. You would most likely follow or ask an influencer that could be a chef, right? You see how that's complementary, right? Same thing if you have beauty products, you would want to find an influencer that has an audience that they do, let's say, reviews and they're about beauty and fashion or something like that, right? So just think about that and what is aligned with what you're looking to promote. Number 3, artificial intelligence and machine learning. Okay, so that's AI and ML. So if you ever hear those two, you're like, wait, what's an ML? Machine learning. Okay, they're becoming increasingly important in digital marketing as they can be used to improve your targeting, improve that personalization and automation of marketing efforts. Now, by using these two intelligence, businesses can gain a deeper understanding of their customers and create more effective marketing strategies. Now, these are going to be great tools to use. Now, with that being said, remember to keep in mind a couple of things. Number one, more and more people are going to be using this intelligence. So if they're using like that chat AI, right, that's going to just spit out all this information when they input it like a topic, right, they're going to appear as though they're the real deal. Right? So think about this. Somebody new coming in puts this information and then they start talking and then people are going to be like, what? You know, they know what they're talking about, or maybe they just typed it in, right? Where you and I have taken all this time to kind of go through it. We've actually not only learned it, mastered it, and are making money at it, right? Well, if you choose to use this, make sure that you customize the content. Don't just copy and paste, right? You're going to have to incorporate other ways to show your authority and back up your knowledge that you're putting out. So always be gathering testimonials and case studies of your clients and weave them in with your content. So it's not just like, here's what I know, blah, blah, blah. It's like, here, I got this data to back it up. All right. Number 2 is to remember, people want to deal with people. So the AI will never completely replace you. There has to be a human element that we're dealing with. All right. So if I was on a mastermind call the other day and we were all talking about it, and some people started getting a little nervous. And I'm like, hold up. This is just like when YouTube came out, or, Google, when people say, well, why would I buy your course when I could go to YouTube and just learn it? Right. Well, yeah, you can, but how much more time is that going to take you? Right. It's not in a step-by-step framework or an easy process or a system for you to follow. Okay. So just keep this in mind. This is all evolving. This is how digital marketing is going to go. So you really just need to get comfortable with it and really take the time to figure out, where's your place going to be? How are you going to pivot with all this, right? How are you going to dial in on your messaging? How are you going to stand out from everyone else, right? What is going to be your unique selling position, right? The next trend is video marketing. Video is king. And you might be saying, Michelle, video's been around for a long time. Yes, and it's always a trend that you cannot ignore, okay? It's such a powerful way to promote products or services, and it allows business to create engaging and informative content that can be easily shared on social, right? So by creating video content that resonates with your target audience, businesses or your business can increase their visibility and drive more sales. I think that if you're listening to this podcast, you should be doing video consistently, right? Like I'm probably preaching to the choir. If you are not, now is your chance to start. Don't beat yourself up about what you haven't done or anything like that, okay? Today is a new day for you to say, what am I going to do for my video either today or plan for tomorrow, okay? Remember, if you don't want to be on camera all the time, there are other ways to incorporate video in your marketing. So just get creative. All right, number 5, interactive content. Now, interactive content is like quizzes, polls, surveys. They're becoming increasingly more popular as a way to engage with your audience and gather valuable data, okay? So quizzes were popular a few years ago, and now it's like making a comeback. It's like those bell-bottom jeans, you know, my mom used to wear, and then they kind of came back. They're going away, and they're going to come back again, I'm pretty sure, right? So it's like this wave. But what's really cool is this is a way for you to personalize your content, right? Because you're using this interactive thing. You're asking specific questions, and based on their responses, then they will get different messaging. So when you hear the right messaging at the right time, this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about, this personalized content, okay? Now, you can also learn more about your customers and create more effective marketing campaigns. What do I mean by that? I mean that if you start to get the surveys and you're noticing, oh, wow, a lot of my audiences are falling into this particular category, right? Let's say the survey has 3 and they're falling into 1. Now you know what to do all your messaging on, especially with advertising. Speak to that group of people, right? 6 is something really cool, which is voice search optimization. Now, this has become increasingly more important as more and more people are using voice assistants to search for their products and services. By optimizing your website and content for voice search, you can ensure that your business is easily discoverable when people are searching for relevant keywords. Cool, right? Well, think about this as well for your courses and searching in content, your blog posts, all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know if you've either heard or currently use a tool called Searchy, where you can kind of like search for something and it comes up, right? Well, think about this the same way, but using your voice. Number 7 is micro moments. Now, these are specific moments during the day when people are looking for information or inspiration. So by creating targeted content that reaches consumers during these micro moments, businesses can increase their visibility and drive more sales. So what immediately came to mind just now when I said those micro moments, right? Because I know your wheels are turning. What would that look like for you? What do you think those times in the days are? Okay, next up is social commerce. Now, we all know what social commerce is, right? It's the process of enabling customers to make purchases directly through your social media platforms. So by using social commerce, businesses can make it easier for customers to buy their products, increasing their conversions and sales. And as I always say, don't make things difficult for people to buy from you. If they find you on Facebook, let's say, and you're thinking all my people are on Instagram, then they have to go find your website, find the link for your course. And it's like, oh, it's like all these steps, right? You're making your people go through hoops just to make a purchase, right? So how can you incorporate this in your marketing? And it may be as simple as having somebody on your team go over to Facebook and figure out where the heck to put those links for people to buy from you, right? Number 9, immersive experiences. Now, these are like virtual or augmented reality They're becoming increasingly popular as a way to create engaging and memorable experiences for your consumers or your customers. So, by using these immersive experiences, business can stand out from their competitors and really drive more sales. Like, how unique and different is that, right? So, for some of us, that may not be something we can currently use for our business right now, but for others, you could be like, oh, wow, when they come in, I could do this, or maybe even at a retreat or something. If you have a coaching program, like really get creative. And like I said, you don't have to do this tomorrow, but let that seed be planted in your head that you can say, okay, I'm going to revisit this, but you know that something might pop up between now and when you put it to revisit, right? The last trend that you should not ignore in 2023 is customer data privacy. Now, this is becoming, if it's not already, like you should already know that this is super duper duper important, right? As more and more businesses are collecting, storing, and using their data about their consumers, customers want to trust you because you are the steward of their data. So by ensuring that you are following your data privacy laws, right, and regulations, and that you are collecting, storing, and using customer data responsibly, you can protect your customers' privacy and build trust with them. Now, again, this is super duper important. So don't just have a privacy policy on your website and think you're good, right? You're golden. Have you ever read your privacy policy? I will be honest and say I had not until last year when I was really diving into all this, and I was like, maybe I should go back and read that sucker, right? You should too. Go read it. And then make sure you have the systems and processes in place and that everybody on your team has read it and everybody on your team knows what those systems and processes are as being the steward of their data. Okay, this is super important. Okay, remember that these digital marketing trends are just the tip of the iceberg. So be sure to stay up to date on the latest digital marketing strategies and tactics and stay ahead of the competition. And you know, I always got your back, so just tune in here and I will bring it all to you. Or you can even join me in my program where I'm definitely keeping you up to date under the Predictable Growth Accelerator. All right. I appreciate you so much for being here with me today. And hey, if you're enjoying the show, I'd love it if you'd be so kind and leave an honest review over on iTunes. Cheers to getting with the digital marketing trends in 2023. Until next time, let's grow your business together.